This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. I'm joined with Adam Smith. He's on the move. He's in the car. Yeah, I saw you yesterday, but obviously didn't get to catch up with you. But yeah, how's things? How are you feeling on the Sunday after a huge fight like we did last night?
Exhausted, still in shock, excited by what happened. What an unbelievable week. Um, One of those occasions that it was just a privilege to be at. From an atmospheric point of view, it was stunning, I thought, from start to finish. A fight week like no other. Evening entertainment all through. You and I know about running
Yeah,
around different press venues, but wasn't it incredible that Monday we were down by the river in the scorching sunshine by Tower Bridge, then Tuesday on the red carpet at Leicester Square, Wednesday up at Wembley Arena where there were fights and Prince
yeah,
Nassim Hamid and Adam Hamid and all of that. And Thursday at the Guildhall, what a wonderful building, and Friday at Trafalgar Square, and then finishing at the most iconic of stadiums, filled to the brim. Liam Gallagher. I mean, the ring walks and the show was just one of the most astonishing I've seen. And the fight, one of the most incredible too, for so many reasons. So yeah, I think we're all a bit tired today, pretty shocked. I think even Daniel Dubois was. I saw him afterwards, getting into his car with his dad and Riz and all the team and family, and he still looked in a bit of a daze. I think he did like that when he walked around the ring afterwards as well, almost still in sort of fight mode. It was quite bizarre. Maybe it just hasn't sunk in and won't for a while, but what an achievement from Daniel Dubois. And I'm delighted for him and his team, Don Charles and Frank Warren, who stood by Daniel all this time. Yeah, it just, I think it shocked all of us, didn't it, in the press box? There was always the chance, we felt beforehand, of Dubois
Mhm.
winning by knockout, but the majority of people I spoke to all day, in the press, fans, experts, were pretty much all picking Joshua by knockout and early and emphatically. So wow, what a turnaround! And Dubois was incredible, I thought, from start to finish.
Yeah, you said that there that a lot of people were sort of picking Joshua, and a lot of people, they didn't write Daniel Dubois off. But I think one thing was they didn't expect it to go the way it did. Do you think that was the most surprising thing to see Dubois almost sort of run through AJ?
Yes, I think that exactly right. When he came out, his ring walk I thought was even better than Joshua's, which we all look at the flaming AJ's, but his was just something completely different. And he sort of waltzed into the ring. It was like he just felt so good. And when he came out for the first round, that jab got going, and his feet were moving, and he was on the aggressive attack, but he was doing it cleverly. And I think that's what, most people thought the reach advantage that AJ had. He'd be able to get that jab home. He'd be able to have a little look at Dubois for the first couple of rounds, but Dubois was having none of it. He went in there, no respect for Joshua. He was just going to walk through him, but he walked through him cleverly. He did it really well. And that jab, beautiful. And of course, when he heard him at the end of the first round, and it reminded me, that knockdown, of when Lennox Lewis got up against Oliver McCall and was sort of complaining, and his legs were dipping, and that was a slightly controversial stoppage, not like Groves and Froch, but it was talked about afterwards. Should Lewis have been given more time as a champion? And I felt like that then, and the bell came in, and he was lucky to get through that first round, AJ, and I don't think he ever really recovered. His feet weren't moving. I don't quite know what was going on. His hands down, boxing a bit like a novice, still concussed, possibly incredibly brave throughout. But I just thought it was a matter of time. And then when Dubois got the other knockdowns in 3 and 4, you thought, how is Joshua getting through this?
Mhm.
And then incredibly in round 5, he took the fight to Dubois, got an uppercut and that right hand in, and you suddenly, and Eddie said it in the post-fight presser, you felt, no, could this
Yeah.
turn around? But of course, left himself open for that corker of a right hand from Dubois, which was the finisher. And I think Daniel deserves so much credit for what he's been
Mhm.
through. People questioned him after Joe Joyce. People questioned him after Usyk. He's done it the hard way. He went through Jerome Miller, which is not a tough assignment,
Mhm.
especially if you're testing your heart and your guts against Hrgovic. Don was telling me, he took 40 odd right hands in those first 2 or 3 rounds, and he was so angry with him, Don, but he still got through it. And then Don was telling me they were going to work on defense and tighten up. And I got to be honest, I wonder whether 12, 15 weeks was enough. But he boxed so well, Dubois. And it took me back to that sparring session, Lewis, that I saw many, many
Yeah.
years ago, which I've always said was really competitive. So Joshua knew what he was going in against. And I can't believe he sort of underestimated him. I think he just got beaten up by the better guy, outclassed, outfought, out hustled, and incredibly brave. Went out on his shield, but a disastrous night, obviously for Team Joshua, and a fabulous one for Team Dubois. And at 27, the future is just golden, isn't it, for Triple D?
Absolutely. I don't want to keep you too long, so a last few from myself, but I'm not trying to throw sort of AJ under the bus or be critical, but it is right to say sort of, let's say AJ wants to carry on. How concerning was it to see the defense his defense yesterday? Because as you say, like Dubois was landing that jab at will, landing the right hands at will. I think Dubois would, when people went into the fight, the main concerns was would Dubois be able to take as many right hands from AJ? It looked like it was the other way. Do you know what I mean? AJ, right to be really concerned about how leaky AJ was with his defense.
Yes, I think on that evidence, the questions are right. Should should he carry on for much longer? What needs to be different? Everything seemed so sweet under Ben Davison. The Otto Vannin victory, the Francis Ngannou one, and of course Dubois was a step up. But Ben Davison's an elite trainer, and I think Anthony felt really comfortable in Harlow. I think he'd found a rhythm and a synergy, and I think that's what's really shocked Ben, Eddie, and the whole team, that he couldn't just put that into practice when it mattered. But Dubois took it away from him. And I think you have to credit Daniel for the way he just wrestled the fight from the off and didn't allow Joshua to settle, hurt him, um, and and really demolished him in 5 rounds. It was one of the most brutal, very one-sided heavyweight fights of that magnitude that I've seen. I think all the credit has got to go with what Dubois has done. As far as AJ, look, he's turning 35 in October. He's had an incredible career, a wonderful golden boy of British boxing, of British sport. He's transcended it with the stadium shows. He's inspired so many youngsters. Eddie spoke really well at the post-fight press conference and said that we should all be grateful to AJ for what he's done, but you've got to look at his boxing. You've got to look at what's happening in the ring, and you've got to look at his health. That's the most important thing for any fighter. Derek Chisora is still going on, and Frank Warren thought he should retire. Fighters are a very strange beast, and of course, in the heavyweight division, there's always time because they're not old, and also there's so much money around now. Turkey Al Sheikh's changed boxing forever, or certainly for this period. And look, I think they've just got to take some time off. I think obviously AJ wants to carry on. That's Eddie's first thing. They're going to get the rematch with Dubois. But I think they need to take time off and just assess the situation, give him a long rest, get him back into the gym. I'm sure he'll want to get back into the gym straight away. That's the sort of guy he is. But it was a bad defeat, and it's not the first time he's been stopped, and it's going to be a tough road back for him because I think he'll want the big fights. Conor McGregor's saying you've got to make AJ Fury still. Ariel as well on DAZN saying the same thing because they're in the MMA world and a defeat doesn't really mean as much. But this was on a big stage. And it went wrong for Joshua. He'll want to go back into the ring and try and right that wrong. And we certainly would, as fans, still want to see AJ Fury. Maybe it's lost some of the gloss, and Fury's got his own business to take care of if he can on December the 21st against, the best fighter in the world, in my opinion, in Oleksandr Usyk. So there's lots of stuff ahead. I don't think anything should be made hastily, no decisions. But yes, it was worrying because it looked like he got absolutely everything back, Joshua. But Dubois took it away from him. Would that happen in a rematch? Would Joshua manage to utilize those advantages that we all felt he had? We don't know. David Haye went into a rematch with Tony Bellew and it was worse. Chris Eubank went into a rematch with Steve Collins and it was worse.
Yeah.
You never know, really. And I think that they have to think about, what's best for Joshua. I think he will be back. I think he'll be back in a big fight, but I think they should take their time and really assess it. And I think Ben was crushed last night. I really like Ben Davidson. I think he's a brilliant trainer and coach. And he looked shell-shocked in the post-fight press conference, as though all their hard work just didn't work. It didn't manifest in the ring. They can't fight for the fighter, and they must all be so disappointed today. But Joshua was brave in defeat, in the ring and out of the ring, by facing up to the press like he always has done. He's always done the right thing. So, Lewis, I think that they'll take their time. They'll go back, and if he feels good in the gym, I think they'll go again. But they've got to keep an eye on him now. It's the latter stages. Can he be written off? And it's not our decision to tell him to walk away. He's made millions, and it's his. But the health of the boxer and the health of our heroes is the most important thing to me. And I wouldn't want to see him go on too long, especially if something like that happened again. He'd have to walk away.
Yeah, that's completely fair enough. And yeah, just before I do let you go, Adam, I did want to get your a few thoughts on the undercard. Josh Warrington, seeming like it's calling it, he may be calling it a day. Obviously, you would have covered a few of his fights during his time at Matchroom. Hamza Shiraz with another incredible performance. Joshua Buatsi, obviously, almost like a real statement out there. So yeah, as well, the undercard was impressive.
I'll be honest, Lewis, I missed Mark Chamberlain's defeat and the Josh Kelly fight because I was still at Box Fest, which was one of the most manic afternoons I've ever had. Unbelievable, wasn't it? With Tyson Fury and Ricky Hatton and Amir and Kell Brook and Tony Bellew, and the fans loved it. It was a brilliant event that they put on. Really whetted the appetite for later. But I was in there to see Kakacho and Warrington. I always thought Kakacho would be a little bit too big for him, a little bit too strong and fresh. And Josh was tough and gallant as always. And he put in a really good effort, I thought. But I think he sort of realized that this probably is the end. Hey, again, never tell a fighter to retire. And he could certainly go on, Josh. He showed enough, but yes, maybe at this sort of level, he had to take the fight, a golden opportunity, and he put everything into it. So I think well done, the pair of them on that one. Joshua Buatsi was terrific. Willie Hutchinson was always going to be a problem beforehand, and even had his moments at times where Josh was a little flat-footed. But what I liked about him this time is that he really went through the gears. His body shots were fantastic. He was more menacing. And I thought he was a wide winner. I think I scored it 116, 110 on the Boxing News app. I couldn't believe.
So I was going to say that the judges
gave it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that one of the judges gave it to Willie Hutchinson. I thought that's one of the worst cards. I mean, God, I'd seen some bad cards over the years, but that was one of the worst ones I've seen. And taking nothing away from Willie, he was brave, he was strong, he was tough to get up, keep getting up. He wanted it so bad, but was terrific, and now he goes on. And could he be knocking at the door at the winner of a Bivol Batebiev? I do believe Joshua Buatsi has it in him to become a world champion. A great night for Ben Shalom too. Not so with Tyler Denny. Disappointed for Tyler. I thought that Hamza, from where we were sitting, looked twice the size of Tyler Denny. And also, he's a better fighter. He just looks really good. His defense is great. He shapes up well. He's authoritative. He's purposeful in the ring. He hits hard. I really think he's going to be a star, Hamza Shiraz. And I thought it was a fantastic performance. So, yeah, really good. Then a bit of Liam Gallagher. then the fireworks, and yeah, look, it was a monumental night, wasn't it, at Wembley?
Mhm.
But it will be remembered for Daniel Dubois and the brutality of heavyweight boxing and what can happen, and our predictions can be wrong from so many people, and that's why we keep coming. That's what grips us.
Mhm.
It's the most fascinating sport in the world because it can do that to us, and it's crushing for Joshua, and it's jubilation for Dubois today. But AJ will get back. He'll rebuild in his way. He's too good and too good a person not to.
Mhm.
And for Daniel, the sky's the limit. You know, Fury, Usyk, all that. AJ rematch, and he's 27.
Mhm.
We have a new heavyweight star.
Yeah, absolutely. We're definitely doing that. So a right time to sign off, Adam. As I say, I can't really say enough. I really do appreciate you taking time to speak to me, especially on a Sunday. And I know it's a family day for you, so it does mean a lot, mate. And I'll let you get on, mate. Really appreciate your time. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you. The family are in the
Thank
back
you.
there, so
Yeah.
they're all saying bye. Cheers, Lewis.
Yeah,
Take care,
perfect.
mate. See
Thank
you.